What's up, everybody? We got to talk about the chop, chop, chop. It's going up, it's going down, it's moving all around, presenting opportunity if we are paying attention. Right now, it is doing the last throes of washouts. I do believe that in a very, very, very short period of time, maybe by the end of this month, but definitely into September, I do believe that we're going to be having some upward price action. That's why you need to be prepared, and you are here. You're in the BitLab community. You're here for those unbiased looks, meaningful tools, content, community. That's what this is about. So everybody, if you're ready to get this going, I want to see everybody that's in the room right now drop an emoji, drop a bullish, drop a bearish. What are you feeling today? Are you feeling grateful? How do you feel about this market? We're starting the week with a bit of chop. We did not move that much this weekend, although we did have a tiny little gap filled. Let's talk about it. We got a lot to dive in today. So everybody, let's get this going. Let's go. Drop a one in chat if you're ready. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. The market is moving, jumping to the upside, washing out to the downside, chopping back to the upside, and then yet again back to the downside. This is the 15-minute chart. A lot of movement today. We see this. It's not even small. This is about 3% to the upside, followed by about 3.5% to the downside, followed by almost 4% up, a little over 4%, and then another just short of 2% to the downside. The market is moving. The question is, what are you doing right now? Are you paying attention to the longer term? Are you paying attention to the fact that this is setting up for one of the best bull markets in history? We have the strongest fundamentals we've ever had. We have absolutely tens of billions of dollars that have already been aped into on the Bitcoin spot ETFs. All this we're going to be talking about and more. We got Matthew Hyland coming on today, which we'll be diving into in a bit. But before we do that, I just want to say welcome back to the charts. Welcome back to this Monday. My name's Kellam. Welcome to the BitLab Academy. This family is all about unbiased looks at the market, meaningful tools, resources, content, and more importantly, community. So we can do this together. We got to talk about what's going on because I do believe we're in the last throes of the best opportunity we will ever see in this market. And that is looking right now. Look up almost 9% on 7 days, over 9%, 11%, 12%, 17%. But then in the last 24 hours, we're seeing some chop back and forth. But the market is back over $2.1 trillion. Bitcoin's still holding above this 1.17, so $1.17 trillion in Bitcoin. Ethereum holding above 300 billion, BNB about 75 billion, Solana nipping at its heels at 68 billion, XRP sitting here with that 17% pump, now sitting at 32. The next one, look at this, less than half of its market cap, Cardano, a little over 12 billion, and then it goes down from there on these market caps. But when we're looking at this on the market, we're seeing opportunity abound. We are seeing so much opportunity abound. Let's go ahead and dive in and talk about it. Fear and greed. Fear and greed is still sitting in this extreme fear. I did a short on this morning talking about why this is likely an incredible opportunity. These extreme fear zones, especially in the middle of a bull trend, screams washout, screams. Are you paying attention? Are you selling the fear or are you taking opportunity, jumping to the upside? Is aped in still a thing? You know what? I guess I'm bringing it back. If ever anybody that is here, we got 26 people in the room. This is early in the stream. I'm sure we'll have a couple hundred pour in here in a second. If you are here early, I love you. I love everybody, but I appreciate those of you that have your notifications on. Remember, we had 4 member streams last week, and some of them, not all, I came over here. If we go over here to YouTube, youtube.com, BitLab Academy, this thing posts. If you have right here, if you're looking at this and your thing does not say subscribed and you do not have this all ticked, you're not going to get the notifications. But some of these, as you can see, like right here, if you're paying attention, have your notifications on, you will see this. Also, come and check that. It might say community, it might say post, but check this. I am sharing that periodically. And sometimes the first 2 or 3 minutes of these member streams that only BitLab members here on the YouTube or in the Academy get to see, I do share a public post sometimes to share the benefit for anybody that does have their notifications turned on. But let's talk about what's going on. Extreme fear. For me, this is saying opportunity still exists. Why? Because when we look at this blueprint of all previous cycles, how this has played out. We have done it time and time again. We are in the middle of this zone right here, setting up with the first advance pullback, second advance pullback, third advance pullback, launch. Okay, first advance, we had a black swan. Second advance, third advance, launch. First advance, pullback, second advance, pullback, third advance. Are we about to get that launch? Whether or not it happens within the next few days or the next few weeks or even all the way into November, this next setup, this bam, pop to the upside setup is brewing. It is right around the corner. The question is, are you going to have the patience and the endurance to sit through these periods of insolvency? The market can be irrational longer than most people can remain solvent. Do not give up just before this massive move to the upside. I do want to say, shout out to our channel partners. This channel is brought to you by Arculus. Best crypto cold storage solution, best way to absolutely protect your crypto and protect your future. Make sure you head over to getarculus.com. Again, that's getarculus.com using code LAB10, LAB10, LAB10 for 10% off. The best crypto cold storage solution also allows you to one-tap store, swap, and trade your crypto. It's my favorite crypto cold storage solution out there, and it uses your biometrics, uses a card, uses your keys, keeps the keys off your phone. So it doesn't matter if you lose a card, you lose your phone. You're not going to lose your biometrics. And if you do lose those things, you can just load those onto a new wallet because nobody can have all three of those things. The most secure crypto cold storage solution. Make sure you get in there. Now, with that being said, remember, we are in extreme fear, which is, to me, we're in the throes of the last best opportunity we're going to get before the price runs away. Again, we have all of this basically roadmap of how things play out. We're in the middle of trying to identify when this breaks out to the upside. It's just right now, can you be patient? Because things are looking incredibly bullish. But in the near term, there are some signals that we may get a little bit more of a move to the downside. Now, do I think this is going to spell an absolute breakdown to 38,000 or below? I don't think we're going to get that, but we're seeing in the charts right now, this is a 7-minute chart. We see a big move up, a little over 2%, about a 3% move to the downside, about a 4% move to the upside. This is what's known as the whipsaw. This is what transfers your wealth to somebody else if you are buying the hope and selling the fear. Flip that around. Sell the fear and buy the hope, especially if you are trading. If you are trading this market, I beg you, do not trade this market with your entire portfolio, but make use of the different opportunities that are out there and do it with a small risk managed percentage of your portfolio. By the way, we do also have other channel partners, CoinW. Sign up with CoinW. You can see it. I'll post it. It's in the live chat, pinned to the top, but I'll share that in the live chat again. Sign up with us there. If you have another account, use another email, create an account, get free money right now. They still have, I didn't even notice this, and my apologies, but there's a great deal going on right now at CoinW. If you sign up with that link, it's here on the tweet, and I'll share this as well. You get free money for signing up and depositing. You deposit $100, you get $100. Boom, right here. This is expiring on the 15th. Deposit 200, you get 200. Deposit over 500 and trade a little bit, then you get $500 rewards. And you can see basically the whole table here of what you get for signing up and trading with us. And also, we're going to be sharing exclusive training that you'll all get for free just by signing up with this. So get signed up, trade with us here at BitLab Academy, and let's continue on. We got Matthew Hyland popping in here in just a few minutes, but we got to talk about this. Yes, I am extremely bullish for the long term. But in the short term, there is some sign. This is on the 2-week chart. There is some signal that maybe we do get a move to the downside. I have a feeling like this is going to be a bit of a trigger trap people are going to see this. They're going to start selling. But I think the bulls are too strong to really let the price fall anywhere near dramatically. We saw the price action come all the way down to $48,000 on this washout and then absolutely moonrocket up here. And would you just look at where this price action goes to? This goes right from this move, all the way from this top, all the way to the bottom, all the way up into this bounce took you right into a great for traders, profit taking zone, which is the golden pocket of this move. Now on the move down, interestingly, look at this. The move down from this top, this local top, I should say, that just came in right at the golden pocket of the larger move. Then look at where it came down to, right into the bullish retrace zone, which is this 382. If we can hold above this, which we've had boxed off since last week, if we can hold above this, this is an actual wonderful small time frame reversal into a small pullback to then continue higher if we hold above this. And currently we are also above the weekly VWAP, so things are looking good. Now, when we're looking at what's going on, how are we going to get there? Oh my God, it's so bearish. But then you look at the other data from Quentin Francois, the new wallet's over 1,000 Bitcoin. This is still going parabolic. Price action is absolutely just getting, the bulls are defending and stacking in like never before. The large wallets, 1,000 Bitcoin is not a small amount of money. This is exponential money. And it is stacking in, consolidating at this, where price is consolidating at this previous all-time high. In addition to that, we have the Chinese liquidity cycle, People's Bank of China, which we will also start to see spill over into the US and the Western world. Money printer go burr. This money printing is what's going to really help sustain price action to the upside. Are you not bullish right now? On these smaller time frames, it is doing its best to shake you out. But my question is right now, we got 160 people in the room and only 23 likes. Everybody get those likes up. I do want to shout out, we had a couple winners last week. Let me tell you the names one more time. I have them right here. We've got, let's see, we got Chris Pfaff, Justin Eubanks, and Indigenous 64262. We do have those the winnings, the hats, the shirts, and then also the USDT that we're giving away. Those are getting packaged up, and addresses are all going to get collected today. We will be giving those out. When you participate in this channel, we want to give back to you. So everybody hit that like button. Let's get these likes up over 125, and we will give away another shirt and another hat. If we get it over 150, we will give away another $50 USDT. We'll draw at the end of the stream if all of you are getting active on that like button, showing some love. Now, when we talk about what's going on here, again, these markets, I mean, this is the 6 hour. Let's get back to the 24-minute. We're seeing price action pushing up, sideways action. There was a lot of liquidity. I talked about this last week. This price action, there was a lot of shorts that got liquidated on the way up, and then the price sustaining here, but there wasn't then healthy buying to support it. So we see the price action come down and flush this out, because this just moved up basically relatively a little too quickly, unhealthy in a way. We've come down and we filled this, now pushing up and chopping back and forth. Things are looking good. They're feeling good. Do not get dissuaded by a little bit of short-term price action, especially when you consider the price causing. All right, it should be good. I don't know where Matthew went. Should be popping back in. I had to turn on echo cancellation. It always locks up the computer. The fact that we have this pullback from the zone into the 382, this is a very bullish pullback. If we come here, bounce, and don't even come down here to test this golden pocket down here, which will be back at that $54,000 range. So I want you to notice, if price action cannot sustain here to get above these zones, then we've got to pay attention to a potential move that comes down to flush out this area, which would still be a higher low on this zone when we're looking at the price action as it stands. But we have a chart master in the house. We're going to bring him up. Make sure that you're, there we go. Assigning your levels right here. Guess 4. Okay, boom. We got to talk about what's going on, because the action in the charts right now is, in my opinion, doing its best to get you triggered emotionally. And again, if you want to trade with us and you want free money, again, make sure you head over to this link right here. I shared it. It's up pinned in the top of the live chat. But this is a tweet. How about this? If we can get 25 retweets on this tweet, I just posted it in the live chat. If we get 25 retweets on this tweet, we will do a giveaway today, $75 USDT. So everybody get this. This is by the end of the stream. So everybody participate. And remember, when you deposit money you get the opportunity to get free money in addition to that. And you're going to get free access to the trading and training stuff we're doing for those people that do trade with us. So get involved. Let's make it happen. Now, without any further ado, we got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to go over this chart and more because everybody, we don't want to be political. However, the season, it's the time of the season for elections. And we have some data on that. And we're going to talk about all this and more. So without any further ado, my main man, Mr. Land That Is High himself, Mr. Matthew Highland. How you doing, good
What's
sir?
up, Kelly? What's up, everyone in the audience? How's everyone doing today? Bitcoin's back above 60,000 today. I like literally just woke up, so um, yeah, let's get started. Do you want to put my chart up there?
Absolutely not. Everybody, if you want his chart up, if you want him to share that magic, throw a 1 in chat, hit that like button. Let's get into it. Boom, we got the chart. There's the magic. Let's see the sauce.
All right, so I'm looking at Bitcoin. Hold on, let me just raise this volume a little bit. All right, that's better. I'm looking at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, and we got the weekly close above back into this box. We fell below it during the week. We had this long wick, then we had the long wick upward too. So this is kind of an indecisive candle, but on the positive side, we did close within this consolidation area. We're seeing green today, and if you just look at this, if you zoom in a little bit, it is possible that we do see a pullback at some point, maybe to this lower end of the box. But as long as we're in this box, and as long as we really don't go below, I'd say this 53K level, I think we're still just consolidating. Kelly had just shown that chart on my Twitter account with the election cycles. So I've gone over this a few times, and if you look back historically, I hope I'm on the right one. Let's see. If you go back, let me see if we can go all the way back to the, nope, wrong one. We need one with enough price history going back to 2012. So if we go back to 2012, right? This is very early on, a long time ago, over 12 years ago now. If I zoom in, right? Oops. So this is July of 2012. So I'll just put a box, right, to November. So if we look at this, we see a push up in July, but then we see a crash in August. We found our low in August, and then we slowly kind of trended into the election, and the election was around this weekly candle right here. And then afterwards, what happened? We pushed up. Now we go to 2016. Let's see. I think it's right about here. So if we go to 2016, this is July. Well, this is May, June, July. I'm going to box this out till about November. So what do we see? This is July. We went up into July, crashed down in August once again. So we crashed in August in 2012. We crashed in August in 2016. And then we slowly started to trend upward into October, November. The election was around this candle. And then what happened shortly after? Just straight upward price action, right? So now if we go to 2020, we're going to see the same exact theme once again. This is July, pushed up in July, and then this is August, crash. This is the end of August. So in 2016, the crash occurred the first week of August. In 2020, it occurred at the end of August. Then we pushed up. This is September, October, and then in early October, he actually kind of broke out. So this was a little bit earlier than the previous two ones. So maybe it's possible during this election cycle, maybe October, we start to push out of this 74K range. But if you just like follow the theme, we usually see it push up in July, which we saw actually when we pushed up to about 71K, I think, 70K. And then we rolled over. I might actually just go to that just to show you guys. So we got the push up in July, crash in August like we saw in 2012, 2016, 2020. So I'm going to put this box out till about a little bit after the election, and then kind of just draw this out. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, right? For the exact path, but if we just follow the previous cycles, maybe we see something like this, a push up, and then a push out of this area, around or after the election, maybe even before. And then even if you go back last year too, this is last year, right? July, well, June, July, this is July, we got the high right here. So I'll just box this out. Crashed in August. In the middle of August, we crashed right here, down to 25K. A lot of people thought we were going to break down out of this range last year. Then we slowly moved up into October, and then around the last week of October, we broke out of this range. We broke 30K and then trended up afterwards. So this theme is just very, you see it replay. We saw it 3 times during the election cycles. We saw it last year. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just get something like this where we slowly move up now into the election, and then afterwards, it's just been the same thing consistently. There's no reason to like really try to confuse it. I've actually been kind of stating it now for the past month or so. I kind of recognized it back in, I'd say, June, that we usually do the same type of cycle, and especially this year with the election and crypto being like front and center and super political. It just would make sense for it to follow it. I know a lot of people are wondering about the altcoins, right? And if I go to others or total 3, let me see if I can find that. We'll go to total 3. So total 3 came up. We found support here. This was the higher high from back in December. We did go below it, but we found support here on the weekly time frame. I think personally, it's unfortunate, like Kelly said, a lot of the political stuff is coming into the space, and kind of, I'd say not so much for Bitcoin and even Ethereum at this point, because they both have cleared their regulation hurdle. It's really the rest of the market, including crypto companies, especially now the venture capital firms. If Kelly wanted to show that article, we discussed it on a Twitter space a few days ago. But my theme has been that the SEC has kind of made this whole space very unattractive, very uninvestable. They've been attacking it for the last 2 or 3 years. They've gone after every single coin. They've had lawsuits against so many crypto coins, so many crypto companies. And then I've been saying that venture capital firms, I've been saying this for a few weeks now, or even a few months, venture capital firms cannot invest in this space because you can't deal with a lawsuit from the SEC if they decide to sue your coin or sue your crypto investment company. And as Kelly, if you want to just pull it back up now the SEC is going after the VCs, the venture capital firms themselves. So they're not even going after the coins, which they are, but they're not going after the companies. They're going after the people investing the money. So if you sit back and just think about this logically, right? If you're a venture capital firm, why would you want to even touch this space at this point? It's risky just to invest in anything because you don't know if the SEC is going to come after you. But then on top of it, now the SEC might just directly come for you. They might say, hey, you did some, I think the allegations, I'd have to review them again, but I think the allegations in this SEC subpoena is that these crypto venture capital firms had some deals with some crypto coins, and that was enough to get them subpoenaed and targeted by the SEC. And these are the only 3 so far, but I would, if I were to like wager, I would guarantee the SEC is looking at a bunch more. Anyone who's going near this space. So they basically just, I think, spooked the money out of this space for now. So if we do see an SEC overhaul, I do think this space will see, I think it's going to see a lot of upside, and it might require a presidential change, but it's also possible that the Democratic candidate Harris maybe she'll flip. The Democratic convention, I think, is in a week from now. We don't know her policy. No one knows her crypto policy. Maybe she'll put out a message that she's going to be a little bit more easier or loose on crypto. I don't know. I think actions do speak louder than words, though. So I think it would actually be in her best interest to just get rid of Gensler now. Like if you're going to get rid of Gensler in January, then why not just get rid of him now? And I understand, like, yes, you're the vice president, but you're the vice president. You're the second most powerful person in the country, technically. Obviously, probably there's people behind her making the decisions, but it's it's definitely just, this space is just, my main point is, politics aside, the SEC has made this space very difficult to invest, and this was just really further proof with this recent article about the venture capital firms being sued. It's just not attractive right now. But with that said, that could also be an opportunity, and if things change, and I think we're like, I view it as like a ball being held underneath the water, where if the SEC gets overhauled, you just let go and the thing will just fly out. Like, that's just what I see. I think there's a lot of money on the sidelines that wants to enter this space, but it's just they need clarity, they need regulation, and they need to know that the SEC is not going to just come after them for whatever reason they want to.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's still, we want it to be as certain as possible. And we think because the Bitcoin spot ETF and Ethereum spot ETF got approved, that means it's all good and glory. But let's be honest, there's still, as they outlined at the end of last week, Operation Choke Point still is very much in effect. And we see that SEC just getting slapped around and all the things directed at specific projects. And it's interesting, you just outlined it. They're going now directly after the money behind projects, which essentially cuts the fire off at the source, which is just an interesting ploy. I think it's very unclear. Is it Gary Gensler? Is there something deeper in the state, deeper in the administration that's directing that? Or is he kind of lone wolfing it out there, and that's not what the administrations want? I guess that's what everybody's looking for right now. If you truly are in support of crypto, then you need to have some sort of administration impact within the SEC to limit some of this regulation by enforcement rather than just having clarity out there.
Yeah, I would agree. It's just, this was a very far stretch in my opinion. And at this point, really too, I thought we've seen most of the SEC attack, but this is going deeper now. Like, this is, you're going after the money source now that wants to flow into the space. So that's just, it's very hard to explain. It's very hard to like understand, like, why are they doing this super late now too? It's just, you went after all the coins, you went after all the companies, including Coinbase, for example, who have been very spot on with regulation. They've been, like, I guess, like the gold standard of regulation for a crypto firm throughout the world. They've been trying to follow whatever the United States has done properly and everything, and even they got hit with a lawsuit. But now with the money being attacked, it's just, again, it's unfortunate. I don't think it will last forever. And like we saw with XRP, I think if this ends up going to court long term, like let's say we end up in a situation where Gensler does end up staying and retaining his job long term, which obviously we don't want to see. I do think in the end it'll end up in court. It'll get drawn out multi-years like we saw with XRP. But in the end, the SEC likely most of their lawsuits against crypto, they've been losing. I think there was another coin too. I believe Stacks also got they backed off of Stacks. I think they said they're not trying to pursue it as a security. So the SEC goes to court and loses. But the problem is, like with XRP, for example, XRP has been sitting in just limbo for, I think, like 2 or 3 years now. So we don't want this. Like, this would mean we're probably gonna, if this was to play out like this, we probably won't get any clarity, any regulation, any court rulings for a few more years, which would just be unfortunate. And this does not mean also that we won't see any type of bull run or anything like that. I do actually believe that even if Gensler stays, that we will see something, maybe something similar to what we saw last year or early this year, where it was like a kind of mini bull run. But we didn't see a lot of these coins get, especially, like, it was mostly memes for the most part, but we didn't see other coins get money flow in. And a lot of that is just because the VCs can't do it. So a lot of it was just retail, and retail essentially went for the easiest space, which is the memes, because the retail can only do so much. They can only push up the prices so much. We need the VC money to flow in. So it makes sense that the memes and then really like Solana did see interest because that was all retail driven, but really the extent of which retail can do so much is very limited. Unfortunately, we need the VC capital. We need the institutions. at this point, just because the market cap of crypto is a lot larger than what it used to be. It's not like it was in 2017 or even last cycle, which was a lot smaller. So retail could push the prices up higher with less money required, but now it needs a lot more money.
I mean
So
that's not even
yeah.
taking into account that the majority of these altcoins also have quite a bit larger token supply as well with the emissions and the unlocks. So not only are the market caps bigger, there's more coins to divide across that price impact.
Yep, that's definitely true too. If you look at like Solana currently its market cap is actually around where the high of last cycle was, but the coin is about I think like 40% or 50% down in price from that high. And it's just because of the expansion of the amount of coins. If you look across a lot of alts, there's a lot of altcoins with a lot of supply that's going to continue to expand. I know even if you look at like Sui, for example, Sui's been on fire, but Sui also has a lot of coins that are going to be unlocked. And you can see it on the left side of Kelly's screen. On the left, it shows the fully diluted market cap, a little bit lower. So that would be if all the coins were unlocked. So the market cap of Sui, for example, right now is about 2.8 billion. Is that correct? 2.8 billion. But there's still, it's only really like 30% of the supply has been unlocked. Um, so as some of these coins see their supply come on, it's going to require more money to push up the prices because the supply is increasing. So we need more demand to kind of alleviate the supply increase.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting market. It's an interesting time in the market. And on some cases, and I hope people realize this, I think of Bitcoin and Ethereum each in their own class, and then I think of crypto, which is the rest of the altcoin market, because of the disparity between the different types of regulations that are there. And part of it has to do with the spot ETF's approval for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then now we're seeing a huge amount of questionability or uncertainty still hovering and almost acting as a sort of rain cloud on the rest of the altcoin market because there's no telling where regulation by enforcement is going to come in. And we're seeing that like we just saw with the SEC bringing charges against, or are they charges or I'm not even sure what it is. The SEC
It's
basically bringing
subpoenas.
subpoenas against VCs,
Yeah.
which are, the lifeblood of a lot of these different altcoin projects. So it's a very interesting time in the market. I'm predominantly bullish on the long term, but in the short term, I do expect we will, again, I think we will chop through November. I do think that we're going to get at least one run. I personally think we'll break previous all-time high between now and November. But I do think it's going to be an opportunity for a pullback if that does happen. I just think the market's doing everything it can right now to absolutely chop people out.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, and honestly, let's go back to if we go back to the chart. We'll go to just total three. I would say really like actually if you go to others, it's even more clear. And others is coins outside of the top 10. I would say at this level, at this point, this is probably a good accumulation zone for alts in general. But we don't want to see this level lost. So this would be like, in my opinion, a clear line in the sand. Or if we lost this level, we're probably going to come back to the lows. And I don't think that's likely to happen. So I would approach this as an area to reaccumulate currently on alts. And I do think uh, I do think if Bitcoin does trend up, then these alts will start to see a relief rally. But I just think the potential will be limited if we don't see the SEC change. So maybe we do get back up to these highs and maybe go slightly above them for this cycle for others. But if we don't see the SEC get overhauled, there could just be limited upside. And it's hard to like understate the situation that we're in with the SEC. It's just if the SEC just backed off, or if we saw Gary Gensler fired and the SEC overhauled, this whole everything will just suddenly flip, like just drastically. Like oh my, it's almost too good to like imagine at this point because we're not there yet and we don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of uncertainty. We don't know what will happen with the election. We don't know. We could wake up tomorrow, and I said this. We could wake up tomorrow and Kamala Harris maybe will fire Gary Gensler. Like if that were to happen, you're just going to see your portfolio probably shoot up immediately immediately.
Hey, and you
And
know what?
a lot of the space would change.
Somebody in the chat said, and I hope people understand this. Somebody in the chat said, uh, where is it at? She can't make that decision. She's the VP. She has no power but to vote in the Senate when a tie. But ask yourself why Biden stepped down. He didn't, right? He didn't choose to. Basically, he actually was just in a 60 Minutes interview this weekend talking about how essentially he was forced into that thing. So the point here is there's other powers that be that can sculpt a situation and influence, whether it's the Senate or other parts of the government, to make decisions that are going to benefit what's happening, especially right now when there's such a contentious race. And it feels like both sides, regardless of what your side is on, it feels like both sides feel like they're fighting for the ultimate possibility of the future. Like it feels like one of the most contentious races in history about what direction the country is going to go. So I do think there's a lot of pressures internal to the administration right now that goes beyond just saying she has the power or doesn't. It's going to be, the question is going to be what's going to benefit X party or Y party, and those are the decisions that are being made. So there's a lot on the line right now, especially if you're involved in crypto, if you're involved in Bitcoin, involved in Ethereum or any of those altcoins. There's a lot on the line in when we consider the near term meaning the next 3 to 6 months about what directions things can go. But yeah, things are feeling like that pressure cooker is getting tighter and tighter, and I do think a very large move when these decisions are made, it's gonna impact the price immensely. Is there anything that you're looking at right now, or you're noticing is in a good position outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum?
I would say a lot of the alts that are down are starting. Like if you look at Sui, for example, this one, this might just be like an outlier, or it might be a first sign of maybe the alt reversing. It essentially broke through. Let me go to I guess the daily time frame. This was area of a resistance from earlier back in January. At this point, it broke through here, and it's now made higher highs. But I would say usually when the markets start to turn, we start to see a few coins go. We start to see the first one, the second one, and then suddenly they all start to roll. So I think that's possible that what we're seeing with Sui is it might be like one of the first ones to go, but then I do think more of the market will follow on this recovery trajectory. Usually you'd want to see it start with just breaking resistance, like right here when it broke this resistance as a first sign. A lot of altcoins have done this. A lot of altcoins fell below and have since reclaimed. A lot of altcoins I'd say are like in this middle range right here. But now the next thing will be to break this type of resistance and then really put in a higher high. And once when you put in that higher high, there's a good chance that this is turned now. And a lot of the alts, let me just see if I can pull up. So like this is Tau, for example. I think we showed this last time.
Yeah, it's like an 80% move.
Yeah, it went up a lot, but it's like the same thing as what we saw with Sui, right? Where it fell below this, almost reclaimed this instantly. Now the next thing you want to see it do is put in this higher high. So if it can put in this higher high, then it's probably, I'd say, going to make a bigger push upward. And a lot of these alts just have this same look where they're kind of just they haven't put in the higher high yet, but that's the next thing to come. And once you see that, then you know there's some sort of strength behind them, and the trend is starting to change. Because if you look at this, let's go back to Sui actually. This has just been lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and now what do we have finally? For the first time since March, a higher high. That's the first higher high. So that means that this downtrend is very likely over, at least for Sui, and now it's going to start an uptrend. And maybe it needs to, let's see, maybe it gets up to this resistance and doesn't break it immediately. Maybe it pulls back here, puts in a higher low, but then it starts to trend up and then puts in another higher high. in a month or so or something like that. And then this is like the structure you'd want to just generally see. And then we really know that, hey, this downtrend is confirmed over. We're now in an uptrend, and now we want to see it push and see if it can break the all-time highs, which is around 219 for SUI. But I would say just be patient. I think there will be more to go. There will be more to recover. And I don't think SUI will be just the only one. It's basically really the only one so far. There might be a few other ones I haven't seen that are in the same structure. But I think it's probably the first. And like we saw this last October. I think Chainlink and Solana were the first to go. You go back here. I happened to cover this at the time. It put in this higher high, and then it got up here. This was like the first time, like right here, when it got back above this $31. This was like higher high right here, and then it pushed higher. And then same with Chainlink, it did something similar at the time. And they were like the only two altcoins at that time that were really doing too much or doing a lot. But then suddenly in November, December, suddenly just the whole market just started to move up. So there will be ones that lead the pack, but that doesn't mean to just go all in on them and sell everything else, because I think they are, like SUI, for example, is up a lot, and it'll probably do well. It might actually end up being the best performer over the next 6 months, possibly. Who knows? But it doesn't mean to sell everything else when your other altcoin, if you look at, like, let's say something like FET. If you look at FET hasn't seen that move yet, but this could be like, let's say this decides to break out right here. This can get up, $1.10, and then very fast. Let's say we wanted to put in a higher high above here, it'd be $1.56. So you don't want you don't want to be the person who sells into SUI here after it's made 100% gain, basically, or you don't want to sell your FET into SUI and then FET goes up 100%. Meanwhile, SUI maybe consolidates here before it makes its next move. So I would just say be patient, and I think we'll know within a few weeks if more alts are going to start following, or the whole market's just going to follow what SUI is doing.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. And everybody, throw one in chat if you like Matthew coming on here. I love being able to share his thoughts, his charts, and his expertise in this market, because he is an absolute OG. And Matt, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to do some altcoins for the people. I appreciate you popping in
Sounds
here.
good.
I do want to say, everybody, make sure if you're not following him yet, it's right here at Matthew Hyland _ Make sure you type that in correctly, because him, just like me, anybody that's got a decent following has about 100 fake impersonator accounts. Make sure you're following the right Matthew Hyland. He shares charts on a daily basis, and you all see them on my show regularly because he drops straight alpha. And this is that correlation he was talking about with the election cycle price action going into it. So everybody, keep your head up, because this market is just providing opportunity before it rips. It doesn't mean we can't have another bit of a washout, but remember, extreme fear is opportunity. But Matt, is there anything else you wanted to say before I let you go?
No, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you having me on, and to the audience, just stick through it and just stay in there. You probably have already seen the worst with this downside that we saw over the last few months. So I think better days are eventually coming.
Oh man, I couldn't agree more with that. Why give up right when we're right near breaking through that finish line, which is essentially the start of the parabolic uptrend. So thank you, Matthew. I can speak.
Right,
thank you, Matthew. Have a wonderful day. I'll check in with you later.
You too.
All right, buddy. Now, everybody, looking at what's going on here, let's jump into BitTensor. He brought that one up, and I just want you to notice this is 100% bounce. Look at this bearish signal on the BitLab trading stack. Comes all the way down to these bullish setup, and then the bullish signal here with the momentum wave clipping back to the upside. RSI front running it right here, showing that signal, breaking back through the weekly VWAP, and we got a move from 160 all the way up to $315, $318. If you do not remember, or if you have not watched it yet, last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, I did a video. If you come here to the BitLab Academy page, come right here to videos. This video right here, BitTensor, top altcoin. This is it's about 12 minutes, I believe, 18-minute video. Great video to watch. Gives you a lot of insight as to what BitTensor is. It's in the AI ecosystem, and they're doing some really great things. And you can see the strength of the bulls defending this, coming back up. We have not even broken past this previous range high at 367, and just on this rebound was 100% move. Currently, BitTensor is coming down right into this trend signal line, which is now exactly where the weekly VWAP is. If this level is lost, what I'm watching for is a move and a great opportunity coming down here to this next low down here, about 245, which is where this little range low happened. Now, you can see where this pullback came into. Look at those crosshairs that go across the chart. If we come down right here, what is this? We could do option H, horizontal. Look at this. This is right where this previous range top was, and we're finding support on this bouncing up. That's why if we do lose this, this is that level I'm watching, 244 for BitTensor. This is one of those coins, and I shared it with you all in the Discord, in the BitLab, for all you BitLab members, in Kelly Alpha. I shared that with this update on my altcoin portfolio, talking about adding BitTensor, adding Aether, adding Constellation DAG. And we'll have to pull up the DAG chart here in a second, because I do think that one is setting up as well. That's why you need to get in here. By the way, and I do want to just say again, I shared the link here in the Kelly Alpha group, but it's also right here. If you go, I'm going to share this tweet. If we get 25 retweets on this by the end of the stream in the next 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, I will give away, what did I say? Was it 75 US dollars? I believe it was. If it was more, let me know. But if you guys go and retweet, go and sign up here. You get free money. You deposit $100, you get $100, and you get free access to the live trading sessions that you'll have access to once you sign up for this. We're kicking those off here in the coming days. So make sure you sign up. You get free money. If you have other exchanges, that's okay. Come and trade with us, get some free money, and we can all ride this to the top together. We're going to be doing some big things here. Now, looking at DAG. Look at DAG. If you look at this on the 3-day, I just want to point something out. Yes, we had a big sell-off here. Nice little resurgence here, coming back, testing these range lows, which is roughly where this range top was back here in August 2020. But DAG has been doing some incredible things. They have partnerships with the U.S. Air Force. They have partnerships with U.S. Transcom. They have somebody from the Treasury on the board. They are also looking at this, being able to integrate any existing hardware, software without needing to upgrade is one of the major benefits of DAG. They're also in the International Space Station. They have partnerships with Panasonic and IBM. This is, I think, one of those coins, one of the projects that is absolutely going to see a very strong bull cycle, very strong moonshot, because this is all speculation, but in the background, they weren't doing promotion. They were building some of the strongest fundamentals with partnerships in the back end that are going to be there whether or not retail is aware of it or not. They have these partnerships. They are already operating. Their proof of concept is so far beyond, and what they're doing that completely outshines, I think, a lot of other smart contract platforms with their metagraphs. So check that out. We see this downtrend on this falling wedge with the attempts to break lower, but we are holding within this. Once it starts getting its legs and starts moving, just to get to the previous all-time high is a 14x. That was from this point right there, 21x. Now, will that happen? Let's not count on it. Let's say we only get to this level right here. That level right there would be, if we measure this out, that level would be almost a 4x just to get to this level. However, I think this is far too conservative. If we continue pushing up and we go into essentially where that even the golden pocket is, that's a 13x. Now, will that happen? We'll have to see. But I know their fundamentals are incredibly strong. I know they're doing some incredible. I'm going to be doing a video on something that they're just now not rolling out, but having some major advancements on, and that's something called Iron Spider, which is going to have a lot of incredible corporate as well as government involvement, and that's some of the things I like to see. Now, looking at Stacks, I saw somebody out there asked about Stacks. Stacks is still, I mean, look at this washout to the downside, but we call it a falling channel, but it's also a bit of a broadening wedge, bouncing right at this trend line that goes all the way back to December 2022. Finding support, and look at where it just found support again with a large bullish impulse to bring up the candle bodies at this essential range low in the zone. Where are we trying to fight? Just like we saw on SWI, we're fighting through the resistance right now that was previous very strong support here, here, here. And then we slice through it here, and we're kind of fighting our way to get back through it. Once we get through it, we have this zone marked out to push through this and chop in this zone, basically between $1.55 and $1.65. Once we clear this zone, I think it's going to be a pretty quick move up into the $1.91. And then once we clear that, up into that 241 and beyond. This is one of those projects that is a layer 2 within the Bitcoin ecosystem. And once that the broader Bitcoin ecosystem and the DeFi and all the different protocols that are trying to build out that the rest of the ecosystem on top of Bitcoin, I do think that there's incredible upside to come when it does come. Can you please chart DOT? Absolutely, we can chart DOT. We talked about BitTensor. Let's talk about DOT. I'm just reading y'all's messages here. Let's see. We had that falling wedge. It did break bearish, but look at where this bounced. Talk about a washout. Boom, coming down in here, all the way down to 364. And then it has, the bulls brought this way the hell back up in here. Now, can we get another washout? Yes, we can. I would be watching for ultimately a pretty strong buy opportunity if we did drop to the 423 region, because this is that next level down that we can see there's actually a couple level boom. I think this would be a great buy opportunity if we see, and that's roughly right about where the golden pocket is, just in this region. So this mid lower 4, I think would be a great buying opportunity if it comes. There's no way to tell if it's going to happen, because I do think the market is set to really upset some people, because we saw what happened on Bitcoin today on 15-minute candles over a period of only a few hours. Up, washout, trap, down, washout, trap, up, washout, trap, back down. I do think the market is positioning itself to absolutely start running away. And there's no telling when it's going to happen. So do not sleep on opportunities right now because you want lower. Ladder your entries, because we're seeing this setup. This did break back above the weekly VWAP here. This is a 3-day. Let's get down to the 4-hour. But the problem is, or the bullishness here, is we pushed through this weekly VWAP in the trend signal line, bounced. We came down. Look, we're bouncing right at this level of the weekly VWAP and the trend signal line as it stands right now. If this can hold the zone and clear 485, 490, then I do think we're going to be making a run for this next trend line up here at 514 and then up here at 542. I'm very bullish on I'm very bullish on DOT. DOT is Polkadot. Just so you guys know, DOT is one of our channel partners. Which is one of the reasons why I've been, I'm like, let me look into what they're doing. I've looked into, that's how I found out about BitTensor. They don't ask us to look at anything particular. They're just like, hey, go do some research on different parts of the ecosystem. If you like something, talk about it. And that's how I ended up when I was looking into DOT and I looked into this parachain built within the Polkadot ecosystem. I was so blown away by what they're doing with the project that I was like, you know what? I got to let people know. And then I myself, after I let you all know about it, that's when I started moving in and got a position in BitTensor. So I do think the whole DOT ecosystem is going to be doing some big things. And of course, DAG is doing some great stuff as well. The Chinese liquidity is on the rise here, showing that liquidity is coming back into the system. Is there any other news that we got while we've been sitting here setting up? Let's just go ahead and see what's going on. Anything special? Nothing special. Wait, there's some updates. Hold on. Let's see. Bitcoin 1-hour analysis, 200 moving average, cloud, super trend indicator. Boom. Look at this. We moved above, came down, tested it, fell below, but have been fighting to really, the bulls, there's some uncertainty in the market yet because of that big washout down. Some people are hedging themselves. As you see price rise as we did from all the way down here at 49 up here to 63. Some people are taking profit because they're not entirely sure. Some people don't look at the bigger picture like you and I. So there's some profit taking. Now the question is what strength does the bullish narrative come in and defend a zone? And we're seeing this right now, but we're not out of the clear. We're not into the clear yet with what's going on. We can see this in the liquidity. This is on the 1-month chart. it's kind of getting naked here, but all this liquidity, once we get back up to $70,000, is going to prove to be a very big area. $68,000 to $70,000 is going to be a big area. But as we look at this zoomed in on the 24-hour, a lot of people took shorts here. Look at this. There was shorts here that got flushed, but now as this dropped, we have more short liquidations above us now. The next area, if we do want to run to scoop the closest liquidity, we are directly between this liquidity at 60,800 and then directly below us here. It's much smaller, but 59,000. Are we going to get that move to the downside? Let's see what that looks like. Let's wrap it out looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin. We've got the golden pocket directly below us. This is also why, the 382 directly below us. This is also why you see in this zone directly below us, when you looked at that liquidity, why there's a bit of a zone there and another zone right here. This is flushing out directly below us, which is essentially right in this zone right here, flushing out right at that 382. And that next pocket we looked at liquidity is down in this box that we drew at the end of last week, $56,000 to $57,000. It's not over if this moves down here. It starts to become over if this comes down and clears this zone down here at $54,000. When we're looking at Ethereum, look, nice move. We talked about this. It could not quite get over. It's knocked on this door. It's still holding above this weekly VWAP right in this zone. If this does come down and lose 2,500, I do think we're going to be making a run back here for 2,300, and we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled as to what may come from that. Now, XRP, last week, everybody got so excited about that news. This is that news. Boom. Coming back up into the zone, could not even clear the zone as it stands right now. Got rejected. It's still holding above this weekly VWAP. If this does lose this, I'm expecting price to come back down to 50 cents. The full bullish narrative is not fully inbound yet because there's a little hesitation with that big washout. It's not the end of the world, because if we come back over here and come to Credible Crypto shared a great chart on this. Let me see if I can find it. It talked about he's thinking that we go up. This is an hour ago. He's thinking there's a washout that we go up to 62.8 next, but it was right here. Open interest has ramped up massively at our lows here. It's now back to the same level it was prior to the small move down. Squeeze incoming, not sure in which direction, but we should know soon enough. This is talking about, this was 6 hours ago. So maybe this was a little bit when we talk about what we just saw in Bitcoin, coming back here to the 15-minute chart. We see the move up. Where's it at? We see the move up. We see the move down. We see the move up. We see the move down. It's just literally doing its best to get people committed both directions. But the fact that the bears brought this down, it defended the zone, and now has come up and made a little higher low on this very small time frame. We got the bullish signal right here. We've got the momentum wave on the BitLab trading stack here. All this buying power, which is why this is green, comes up, comes down. Money flow is now positive. This is the one thing that gives me a little bit of worry, is this VWAP is angled to the downside. The stochastics look like they're trying to roll over. The RSI has a bit of a downtrend on its highs. Purple line I'm looking at, rejection. If this can hold here and break through this, that will give us some confidence as to what direction we are going to continue. When we look at Ethereum, I mean, look at this, washout back up, washout down. We're holding a bit of a zone here. What I'd really be watching for is this weekly VWAP at 2620. Below that, then we're coming back down to not only 25. This would be that next zone, but then we're going to have to watch for potential lower price action. But the fact that Ethereum is holding and sustaining up in this zone, are we going to get that breakout soon? I mean, we just had the money flow on the 2-hour flip bullish. So I do think I am leaning more bullish than bearish, but that's what I'm seeing right now. That's what I'm feeling. And remember, take advantage of free money when you can. Diversify your portfolio, not only in cold storage, using Arculus, heading over to getarculus.com, using code LAB10 for 10% off, but also within the exchanges that you're utilizing. Get involved. Come and trade with us by signing up at CoinW. I'm going to post this link. Let's see. Did we get over 25 retweets of this tweet? Let's see. Are we giving away free money today? Let's go ahead and refresh this. Sign up there. You get free money. Come on. Refresh. There we go. We've got only 9 of you want that extra free money. But if you sign up here, you deposit $100, you get access to the free trading sessions. We're basically going to be like similar to like Zoom calls, Google Meets only. It's not going to be on YouTube. Only for those that sign up, deposit $100, you get a free $100. If you deposit $200, you get $200, so on and so forth. Follow this chart. Come and trade with us. You're not only helping support the channel, but you're also getting free money. But that's all I got for you today, everybody. We're going to be heading over to the DGen Alpha stream now. Big love to everybody. Hope you all start this week off with a bang. Let's get after it. The time is now. The opportunity is before us. Let's make sure we're taking advantage of us. Make sure you're following me here at Kelly Kellam. You can see how it's spelled right here next to my name, Kelly, Kellam. That's all I got for you today, everybody. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Let's go drop 4 lab coats in the live chat at DGen Alpha. And let's just say, tickle taco time. Let's go have some fun. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Adios, muchachos. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in.